Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Cara, and this is Unleash Your Light. I'm so excited to be here at the Akashic Academy. I'm going to take just a moment to make sure that I am alive, y'all. So let me refresh my page here. I hope you guys will take a moment to share and invite your friends. Let me see if I'm live, okay? Let's see here now. There I am. I'm going to take a moment to share. I hope you guys will too. It is Thursday morning, March. Wait a minute. That's my friend Teresa. Let's see. Thursday, March 8th is the day today. Oh, it's hard to believe it's March 8th. The year is flying by, and yet it seems like it is taking forever, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share. I hope you guys will share too. My week has been going well. I hope you guys are having a good week too. It's been very interesting. We had some really heavy energies last month, but I definitely feel it kind of lifting. Do you guys feel it lifting too? I'm definitely feeling lighter this month. I think the full moon helped for those of you who, who kind of do that thing. I do that kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff, I always enjoy, I go out into the full moon, I have my little crystals, and I always reaffirm my vow to serve, the energy, and to serve, that kind of stuff. And, my service is always to that energy of unconditional love. I don't make it complicated. I'm a simple girl with a simple message. And so I always vow to serve the energy of unconditional love, however that may be best served, is always what I try to do. Good morning, Judy. Welcome. All right. Let me make sure we're good here. I hope you guys can all hear me good. Let's see here now. I hope you've invited a couple of friends. We're going to ting, ting, ting. Invite a couple of friends here and we're good. Share this video out if you have a couple of friends that you think would enjoy this. Let's see. I think we're good. Beautiful. Yay. Well, as I said, for those of you who don't know me, this is only my second broadcast here at the Akashic Academy. I'm so excited. My name is Cara. And good morning, Norma. Welcome. Good morning, Roberta. Let's see who else is here. Judy, welcome. My name is Cara, and my show is called Unleash Your Light. My first show was a week ago. You can scroll right down the page and find it. Good morning, Lily. So excited to see my Soulology friends here with me. And I got my message about 6 years ago. I got a download, and I am a simple girl with a simple message. And basically, unleashing your light is just about cleaning away all of the emotional gook that kind of gets built up from a lifetime of trauma and pain and people, putting their junk on us and overhearing things and people being mean to us and the emotional stuff that we go through, right? All the time. Good morning, Roberta. And so we spend our lives living in this emotional stuff, right? Living through that negative narrative that a lifetime has put on us. And it's perfectly normal. Good morning, Christy. Welcome. It's perfectly normal for us to be feeling kind of yucky sometimes and to be living in the judgments that people have taught us to believe about ourselves, right? And the judgments that society has put on us. Fat, skinny, stupid, smart, too much of this, too little of that. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to feel this way. You're supposed to act this way, right? And all of that keeps us blocked from the divinity that already exists inside of us. So I know that a lot of people use different terminologies. They use different semantics and all this kind of stuff. I don't use a lot of big words. I'm not that girl, okay? So when I say the light, what is the light? For me, the light is the term that they gave me for God, for the God energy, for the collective consciousness, that energy that everybody shares. Call it God, call it Gaia, call it whatever you like to call that energy that everyone shares. Call it Fred. It really doesn't care what you call it. Of course, there all are words that are powerful to refer to that energy because they've been used over and over and over again. Words do start to carry power when we use them over and over again, just like a spell, just like a prayer, just like an invocation or an incantation or whatever you like to call it. They do start to carry power, and that's why those things do tend to be very powerful when we can use them in the proper ways, because words can, be extremely powerful. But for me, I've also found that words can be powerful in a negative way. So when we use a word like God, or we use a word like faith, or we use a word like, Gaia, some people will immediately have a negative or a positive, good morning, Lori, connotation to that. So when I got my download, they specifically said to me, we're going to use the word light, because referring to that God energy as a light, nobody's offended by that, nobody on either side. So people who are religious can hear the word light and not be offended by using the word Gaia, and people who use the word Gaia or use the word whatever they use are not going to be offended by using the word God. So that's the only reason why I was given the word light, just as they oh, there we go. I caught up. That's so strange. When my energy gets high, you guys, just to let you know, when my energy gets high, my Wi-Fi in my house gets affected by it. So I think it's because I'm not holding one of my crystals. Wait, hold on. I hate to do this. Hold on. Okay. Look. Okay, I grabbed a crystal. So maybe my Wi-Fi will be a little better. Sometimes when I hold on to a crystal, it helps the Wi-Fi to be better. I know that's really strange, but when I get excited, my Wi-Fi goes crazy. My Sology people that are in here can totally tell you that that's what happens when I really start rolling and the message comes through. Okay, so when I refer to the light, I'm just talking about that energy of the collective consciousness, God energy, whatever you like to call it. Okay, thank you, Lily. So we're going to start at the very beginning of the message today. And I have 6 really simple steps that they downloaded to me in my very first, literally my first 5 or 6 days of getting this download of having my mama bring. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I have my grounding crystal. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better now. So in my very first days, I literally had an entire book downloaded to me. This had never happened to me before. It was like automatic writing. I had never had that happen to me before, except that I wrote scripts that I felt like they were coming through me very quickly previously to this, but I thought that was me being really smart. Little did I know that was actually not me being really smart. And songs that I thought I'm really talented, but no, that was not me. That was them. But now I know. So it was 6 steps. You are not alone. Be nice to yourself and others. Forgive yourself and others. Release your past. Have set your mind and have faith. So those were the 6 easy steps that they downloaded to me in this really, small book, very small, 30-something pages. And we're going to start working on these really simple steps. And it sounds like simple, stupid. Thank you, Christy. It sounds simple, stupid. Ridiculously simple, stupid. And yet, as I said in the description, the simple things are sometimes the hardest things to really do. The simple is often the most difficult stuff to master. Oh, wow. That's a good download, Lily. So the simple things can be the most difficult things to really get and to really get a hold of. And the reason that I think that one of the messages that I get about focusing on these emotions so much, because you can hear people talk about very complicated things like geometry and the ethereal and the grids and all this kind of stuff. But my focus is always on the emotions, because the human is what we always come back to. No matter how far you astrally travel, no matter how long you meditate, no matter how much geometry you do, no matter how many communes you build, no matter how much other stuff you do, you always have to come back to the human. No matter how many spells you do, no matter how many rituals you do, they're not going to be, hi, Teresa, they're not going to stick unless your human is right. And so that's why I focus so much on this message, because this is what they tell me. This is where you need to be focusing on. This is what you need to do. All that other stuff, I have my little things that I do in my regular life, but this is what they tell me to speak on. So these simple things are so important. And I'm going to put the first one, which is the very first step, is you are not alone. And I'm going to tie this into half of the second step. The second step is be nice to yourself and others. Now, be nice to yourself has to be an entire show on its own, because loving yourself unconditionally, that's a huge thing for me. My second book that I just finished writing last month is about simple spirituality of self, and how loving yourself unconditionally is literally the basis of everything. Because loving yourself unconditionally is that magic secret sauce that connects you so fully to that divinity that's within you, that magical being that lives in your meat shell, you know? So being nice to others is what I'm going to connect with. You are not alone, okay? Because sometimes people don't make it easy for you to be nice to them. Isn't that right? Okay. Okay, but you are not alone. This is something that is really difficult, especially, okay, there are different types of alone. There are some people who actually are alone, like me. If you are single and you live by yourself, or you're a single mom or a single dad, if you are retired or you're an empty nester or something to that effect, and you're actually physically alone, it is very easy for you to feel like you are alone, because you look around and there's literally nobody there. And maybe the only contact you have is when you go out into the world. I don't work a regular job outside the house. And so the only contact I have with the world is when I actually leave my home to go grocery shopping, or, you know, something like that. So that is something, it is very easy to slip into those habits of feeling like you're all alone and you feel isolated. Then there are those people who are in relationships with people where they feel isolated and they feel disconnected from the other person. Then there are those people where I lived for a very long time, right? Alone, but not lonely. I like that spot. And I'm there about, I say I'm there about 70% of the time now, which is good. It takes a lot to be able to be alone, but not lonely. Because we as humans, just as animals, most animals, we crave the company of other humans. We are still mammals. And so we're in packs, you know. We like to run in packs as humans and mammals, and we like touch. Babies and newborns thrive on touch. And so we as humans in this body, we tend to thrive on touch. And so there's something about the human condition that we thrive on touch and interaction with other people. Yes, and being alone in a relationship when that person is right there and yet you feel separate. And then there's another type of alone where you feel alone when surrounded by people who love you. Good morning, Emily, welcome. When you feel alone while you are surrounded by people who love you. When you feel alone in the midst of a group full of people. And that was the way that I lived for many, many years. I had a family who loved me, and I worked with a bunch of people who, for the most part, some of them liked me, some of them didn't. But even in rooms full of people, I would feel completely isolated and alone. And many of you out there experience this. And many of you, that's what prompted you on this journey of spirituality, is that feeling of separation. And that one can be the most insidious, because you operate as normal on the outside, and on the inside, you feel completely disconnected. And this feeling of disconnected is not really a feeling of disconnection from the people. Yes, you feel disconnected from them, but truly it's a disconnection from the divinity that dwells within you, which is that light, which is the God disconnection, the energy disconnection, because of that, all of that stuff, that yucky stuff, right, that has happened to you, that keeps you feeling separate from yourself, from that divinity, that divine energy, that light energy that's within you. And that's why you feel so alone, because that stuff is keeping you separate from the collective, right? We are never alone, never. we are never alone, because Lillian, you're very, very, you are very lucky for that, because we are always connected to the collective. We are always connected. And I picture it like if you've ever been on the bumper cars, okay? And you look up when you're in the bumper cars, right? And there's that metal net grid, right? On the top of the bumper cars. And you have a pole that goes up from your car and touches that grid, right? And where it touches that grid, there's like an electrical signal that comes down and touches your car, right? That's what's touching us, that pole, and then the collective. So we can access that collective at any time if we have a clear connection with the divinity inside of us, with the light inside of us, right? I'm going to use that word. See, some people are triggered by the word divinity because they don't like to think of themselves as divine, as housing a divine being. They have that lack of self-worth where they can't see themselves as housing a divine being. I'm not worthy of that, right? That's one of those obstacles that we're going to overcome by unleashing your light. See? I'm bringing on hope. I'm bringing on hope. So that's the connection, see? And so you are always connected to the entire collective. Everything. That's why this is so amazing, because you can always lean on this. I had an experience recently where I was, oh, that's beautiful. Thanks, Emily. I had an experience recently where I was feeling very weak and dealing with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and feeling very weak and feeling very sad and feeling very disappointed, and just having this really like this moment. And I said to myself, I need some help. I went down, I got a soda out of the machine for my son. And I said, I need this, I need a little help. I pulled on the collective, I pulled on that energy, and I turned the corner to walk back down the hallway. And I literally had this vision of I turned into this like goddess Wonder Woman image in this beautiful golden gown. And I was like bowing out the hallways as I walked down this hotel hallway with that like Neo from the Matrix, making the hallways like bow out as I walked down with this dress just flapping in the wind behind me with this loving golden energy, right? Because I had called on the collective for strength and for that unconditional love and empathy, so that I could bring that back into the room and be strong and be powerful and be understanding in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do that when we understand how to connect with that within us. Okay. So you are never, ever, ever alone. And here's another reason why you're never alone. Every person that we meet, every single person that you meet houses a divine being that you are connected to, because you are connected through the bumper car system, right? So you are connected through the collective to that person that's across the counter from you when you check out at the grocery store, or when you are driving and that other driver cuts you off, or that person that you're having an argument with on Facebook. Okay, so that's why I'm connecting it to be nice to others, right? So we interact with a lot of different people in our day-to-day lives, right? Happy Women's Day, Valentina. Absolutely. Girl power. The Spice Girls are making a comeback. My daughter was young when the Spice Girls was popular, and it's very cheesy and all, but they did bring, even though they dressed in a way that was not particularly a good example for my 6-year-old daughter. It was very empowering, their message of girl power and standing together. So girl power. Every single person that we come across in our day-to-day lives houses a divine being that we are connected to. And people can be very cruel. They can be very mean. They may not make it easy for us. And it's very tempting for us to snap back as they snap at us. It's very tempting to respond in kind to someone who is rude to us, to someone who gives us a side eye, to someone who is shady, to someone who insults us. It's very tempting to respond with anger, with bitterness, with whatever, attitudinal type of a thing that we want to do, right? Because that's how the world has kind of trained us to be. The world has kind of said, when people treat you this way, you need to have your defenses up. You need to be ready for anything. You need to give as good as you get. They've hardened us, right? Exactly. When people act that way, it's coming from a place of their own pain and defenses, okay? I always try to see the world through the eyes of unconditional love. I put on my unconditional love glasses and see the world through empathy, okay? And this is not an easy thing to do because, number one, we're conditioned to always be on the defensive. And we always want to not be vulnerable. And we tend to be wrapped up with what we're thinking about. We tend to be wrapped up in our own little dramas and our own little things that we're thinking about. And most of us, especially, like for me, I don't do much outside the house, but like grocery shop, okay? So a lot of us will walk through our day with our own lists and our own things that are going on and our own stuff, right? So we walk around broadcasting our own thoughts and our own anger. Maybe we're going over that fight we had earlier that morning, or maybe we're going over that person that made us mad. And my cat just walked by the background like, oh, that's cute. Isn't he cute? Maybe we're going over all of those things in our head, right? I believe that we are broadcasting our thoughts like radio towers all the time, okay? And if we make a concerted effort to broadcast unconditional love instead, happy thoughts, then it changes everything around you, okay? So when I go to the store, I put on what I call a Mona Lisa face, okay? So I always have kind of a half smile. And if I catch someone's eye, I smile at them. I'm not thinking about this argument I had. I'm not thinking about my grocery list. I might be thinking about, oh, do I need this? Do I need that? But I'm not focused on only that. I'm thinking about the experience. I'm looking at the cans. Oh, that's a pretty design. Oh, I like this. I'm not thinking about how grumpy I am or how late I am. I'm not focused on these negative things. I'm trying to make everything a joyful experience. And it takes practice. It's not an easy thing to do. But when you start doing this, when you go out into the world, when you're standing in line and the person in front of you is taking a long time and you start and you're tapping your foot and you're getting annoyed and you're rolling your eyes and you think that you're not being noticeable about it, it affects the person in front of you. It infects the person behind you. It infects the cashier who is now being annoyed because this person is taking so long, right? It infects the entire area. And you don't know what's going on with that person in front of you. You don't know the troubles that they're having. You don't know why they're fumbling with their change. They might have problems with their hands. They might be having a problem at their home. They might not even have the right change. They might be low on money, right? If you instead just say, I don't have anywhere to go. It doesn't matter to me. You just enjoy your time there. Just think about something pleasant. You're broadcasting these positive thoughts. You might be able to lower their anxiety level. Think about yourself standing in that spot and how difficult it is to, oh my God, everybody's waiting for me. Everybody's looking at me. You don't know what kind of anxiety that person has. So your calm thoughts could take their anxiety level down. You could change their entire day just by being kind to them, saying, yeah, take your time. It's no big deal. I got nowhere to go. It's okay, right? Just those simple things can change that person's entire day. What is the extra 2 minutes off of your day? What does it cost you to smile at that person and be sincerely kind to them? As opposed to, what does it do to your day to now be pissed off and frustrated? Oh, God, stupid person. God, what is wrong with her? Meh. Like, Now you're carrying that energy into your interactions with the cashier, who has literally stood there all day listening to people have that kind of energy. And now she's mirroring that back at you. Every person that we interact with is mirroring something inside of us. Every person that we interact with is an opportunity for us to see something inside of ourselves and learn something. Every time that we point the finger at someone else for being rude or for being unkind, and we judge them for that, we need to be looking at ourselves and seeing times that we were like that, because that's the universe saying, do you remember? Have you been like that? It's often not about their actions. It's often an opportunity for us to change our reaction to what they're doing, see? Because the universe sets up all these little tests for us. I say this a lot. The universe gives us many, 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 many tests. If you have something in your life that needs to change, for example, if you believe that you are unwanted, okay, the universe doesn't send you 100 people to tell you, you are so wanted, you are so loved, you must believe this. No, the universe sends you 100 people to tell you, you are useless, nobody wants you, and they send you every situation to prove to you that you are unwanted, so that you can overcome that. They throw you in the deep end so that you can see how misguided your beliefs are, because you are truly wanted just by the fact that you were chosen to be born with this beautiful divine light within you on this amazing planet at this particular time. So the universe is always giving us these tests, right? And they don't tell us why, and they might not make sense to us. But over and over and over again, it's an opportunity. It doesn't matter what they're doing to you. It's about your reaction. Yes, you might still get cited. Yes, you might still get arrested. It's about your reaction to it. It's about your reaction to it, because, okay, that cop might have been a jerk and might have acted way out of line. If your reaction to that is kindness and friendliness, you're going to take him by surprise, because his core belief is that people are assholes and they're always going to react in this way. And he lives his life by that. That's the rule. People are jerks and they're going to react this way. You behaving in a different way changes his paradigm. And while you may still have all the different things that come as a consequence of that, you might have changed his entire way of thinking. You might make him stop and think when he goes home that night, wow, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. That was really weird today. You might start a chain reaction in that person's life. And yes, you might still have consequences from that. But when it's the way that you're reacting to those consequences, maybe it's something for you within those consequences that will then start a chain reaction in your life. Maybe you will start a movement where you're going to advocate for people in those situations. Or maybe you meet someone along that journey who needs an advocate, or people's lives that you will touch while you are in that jail. Maybe you will cross paths with someone who needs your guidance. See, we don't know what the universe has planned for us. All we can do is go with the flow and react to things from a place of empathy and unconditional love. We don't understand why that cop acts that way. We don't understand the pain that that cop is coming from. But we understand pain. And we can have empathy for the fact that that cop has so much pain in his life and has seen so much trauma and has seen so much anger that he feels that he has to act that way. It is a very deep topic, and I only had a half an hour to chat about it. But I'm going to go live. Yes, it may only take a word or two to change someone's entire perspective. And your kind words and kind reaction to him could change his entire perspective on his career. You never know. I'm going to go live on my personal page, Lee Cara, right after this for another half hour. I'm going to continue this talk about interacting with others. I also did a show on this on Tuesday about it. I had a very interesting interaction at a museum yesterday about this topic that I want to talk about as well. So you can go to my page, Lee Cara, right after this. Just type in Lee Cara and you'll be able to find it, okay? And you can always find a copy of my new book for free. It's called Simple Spirituality of Self, and it's about loving yourself unconditionally. There's literally a tab at the top that says, get a copy of my free book. It's a PDF copy at unleashyourlight.org. And right here at the Akashic Academy, this is on the public page, this show, Unleash Your Light, okay? This is my show, Unleash Your Light. I'm here every Thursday at 10 a.m. for half an hour. And there's amazing broadcasting that's pinned to the top. It's a whole list. There's stuff every single day. We are just a little taste of what is inside of the secret group. That's right. There's a secret group that you can join if you get a membership. There's information at the membership. Yes, Nikki, everything happens for a reason. Absolutely right. There is information about the membership at askyourrecords.com. For $11.11 a month, you can get a membership. And on the inside of the secret group, I love saying that, secret group. Emily does some amazing guided, intuitive meditations. She does activations over there. There's a lot more stuff with her and Nick together. They do some incredible stuff on the inside. You can get the inside track. She also does a special for $100 for the entire year. You can get a membership. And you also get a lot more information on her training, where she will actually train you to read the Akashic records. So you should definitely check on askyourrecords.com. There is a link there to get the magazine. There's a monthly magazine there. I think I have an article coming out there in the May issue, which is about the unconditional love thing. And there is a newsletter now that comes out. I think it's bi-weekly, possibly, or monthly. And the last one was so funny because it was, I don't mean to go all Dr. Phil on y'all. It was a good one. Emily wrote that. It was really funny. It caught my attention right away. So if you go to askyourrecords.com, you're going to get more information on that. And I believe there's probably a link in this page as well that'll have all the information on that. The secret group is totally worth it. I did a crystalline activation last weck. It was so good. And my guide told me, go out and get rose quartz. I never use rose quartz. I always like amethyst. But they told me go out and get rose quartz, and I got rose quartz, and it helped with the broadcast because once I grabbed it, right, it stopped freezing. So okay, I've gone over again by about 4 minutes, but once again, you can join me. If you look up Lee Cara, I have a public personal page. You can friend me and follow me. I put my shows on there, and I have lots of room for friends, y'all. I also have a group and a page that you can join, and I hope you'll be back here with me next Thursday. I'm going to be here every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Share the show with your friends if you like it. Invite them. Send it in a message if you think they need it. Don't put them on blast, okay? We don't want to embarrass our friends. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And I will see you next Thursday. And on my personal page, if you join me, thanks, y'all. Bye-bye.